Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Happy Thursday, everyone. What's up? July 16th, coming to you live from the Dancing Elephant Bookstore. Tonight we're talking dragons. All right? Dragons. And Juan, man, where's a good place to start off?
Reporting live from the Gooner Cave on this beautiful Thursday evening. What's up, dude? How you been?
Man, I'm doing good. Had a great day. All good, man.
How
You had a
many
good day?
homeless guys did you have to fight off today? Just 3, 2?
None. But okay, you want to hear something? Since we're on it,
They showed
Okay.
you their ghost angel pictures or what?
no. You want to hear something though?
Go for it.
Okay, not to we did have an incident at the bookstore where basically someone
Oh yeah.
snuck in. They broke in pretty much. They didn't destroy the door, but they came in when the store was closed and locked. And they stole a book. And they left and the book was destroyed. And you want to hear something? You want to know what's going on with America? The prosecutor decided not even to charge them. After speaking to me twice on the phone about the whole thing, they still decided no charges.
Can you tell the people which book it was?
It was an Aleister Crowley book. It was a
Which
big
one?
I believe it was Magic and Theory and Practice, the big, full version.
What and he did not take anything else, no valuable crystals, no anything else except for that. How much is that book even worth? Is it worth anything?
$140.
Not cheap.
But so believe it or not, no fights, but I just found that out today that there's no charges. And honestly, I would have been open to taking it easy on the guy, but just no charges, like, yep, see you later. We looked into it and he didn't do anything wrong, basically. Like, doesn't matter. But
Wow, dude. No, that is pretty crazy, but it's even creepier what it was. And just that one thing.
yeah, it was a case of spiritual derangement.
Possession, maybe?
Well, maybe. I mean, this poor guy, he's schizophrenic and stuff like that. So,
I mean, aren't all our fans, the people who listen to this show, part maybe a little schizo or maybe a little autistic, maybe. If anything,
Yeah.
autistic.
yeah.
But listen, dude, I found some stuff. We're gonna be talking about, we've talked about the Garden of Eden. We've talked about its location. And you and I were talking on the phone the other day, and it's like, hey, if this is the Garden of Eden, then the serpents, there's plenty of serpents here, there's plenty of gators, and then that led us down a little bit of a rabbit hole. But before we get started, I want to bring up something current, and then I want to start us off with, all right, I'm gonna pull up my screen. So apparently this was today, and it's interesting because a few weeks ago when we were on air, the Blue Origin explosion had happened, and I'm sure people have heard about that. It was Jeff Bezos' company, and they had a huge explosion over at the Cape Canaveral. And then, of course, today at around 3 p.m., and I confirm that this wasn't AI, bro. Okay, this is an actual legitimate reporting. There was allegedly an experimental explosion reported off Central Florida coast, and apparently it was strong enough to register as a 3.9 magnitude earthquake not earthquake, but enough to be sensed at a 3.9 off the coast of Florida. And it's interesting because you and I have talked about this before. this is, I mean, it's not in the Bermuda Triangle, but you know, it's around that area where we've talked about the UFOs and things going missing. And last I checked, isn't the one of the starts for Godzilla, which is kind of like a, I wouldn't call it a dragon, but similar. Isn't that how it starts off with like explosion? They're testing nuclear bombs, or near
Yep.
Bimini, I believe it was, and then the lizard evolves into this huge chimera or this thing, right? That they evolved. So
Was Godzilla near Bimini?
yeah, the Godzilla starts off in Bimini. Godzilla.
Does it?
It was so let's see here. The original Godzilla. Yeah. Oh no, I'm sorry. Bikini Atoll. I'm sorry. I got it wrong.
Mm-hmm. All right,
So,
that's right.
Bikini. Yeah, Bimini is. Oh, Bimini's Bahamas. Oh, I'm retarded.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's right.
Bikini Atoll.
That's right. Bimini Aioli. That's where it's.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. So, yeah. Anyways, that's the original. I think like the 2000 Godzilla starts off like that. But anyways, I found that interesting that they did that, and apparently they're testing out these bombs, I guess. So who knows what they're trying to do out there. So the Navy has conducted full ship shock trials in this region in the past. I had never heard about it in the past. I don't know if you have, but I guess they test these things out there. So my next thing, bro, we're going to be talking about Florida and dragons today. I found an interesting little thing on the internet, right? I don't know if you've ever seen this before. Have you ever seen this?
Pegasus. Yes, I have actually. Yeah, I filmed a whole video on it, and I didn't put it out or anything, but I've got like a bunch of footage walking around it. That's apparently one of the largest statues in not just Florida, but America, something
Yeah.
like that.
It is also the world's largest and tallest equine and European dragon statue.
Hell yeah.
So this is in Florida, and it's pretty recent,
That's my
right?
shit.
And this is in Hollandale Beach, and it is the third tallest statue in the US after the birth of the New World. Interestingly enough, we were talking about Columbus a few weeks ago, and this particular statue is in Puerto Rico. I'm sure we've covered it before. And then obviously you have the Statue of Liberty. But what's interesting is that this actually, the sculpture of the dragon actually came from China. So the German bronze casting company designed, planned, and built the sculpture in cooperation with engineering specialist Stark, the steel manufacturing company Wendler, and a Chinese bronze casting company, which was necessary to realize the high volume of bronze pieces. Now, when you look up the story behind, like, what an interesting statue, right? What significance could it possibly have? Why would they do this? Is it a metaphor for something? Is it symbolic for something? Who knows? But when you look at who commissioned it, right? We have this Frank. I looked into Hollandale Beach a little bit. Of course, it was part of Henry Flagler's crew, right? So city in southern Broward County. The city is named after Luther Halland, the son of a Swedish worker for Henry Flagler's Florida East Coast Railroad. So again, part of this Flagler crew. And this Frank guy, he is a Austro-Canadian billionaire and businessman. And apparently it was his idea to do this. The statue is based on the ideas of Frank Stronach, the Stronach Group, who owns Gulfstream Park. So I guess they own an area around there. And it was announced in 2012. It cost, how much did it cost? The project cost $30 million. Okay. The statue was precast and shipped in from China in 23 packing containers, and the steel beams were shipped in 23. Interesting.
Oh, they could. Yeah. They really expect us to believe that, bro. Fucking Tartarians, bro. That's straight Tartaria, dude.
So
we could never.
By December 6, 2014, construction of the statues was completed with the working, landscaping, blah, blah, blah. Work on lighting for the fountain show and Dragon's Fire Breath began in late 2015, and it was open in 2016. So I looked into this guy a little bit. And apparently, dude, as recently as February 2026, this dude was involved in some stuff. right? So this is a billion. This guy gets as Epstein as possible, right? Because he gets charged, and mind you, this is a billionaire who's in charge of some crazy company. His mom, there's a whole bunch of family, which we can get into on this episode, where right the draconian bloodlines, the
Mm.
Merovingians, et cetera, et cetera. We can go down that whole rabbit hole. But yeah, he was accused of doing some stuff, and so his charges were separated into two trials, one beginning February 2026 and the other unscheduled. Check this part out. In early February 2026, the first trial, which is anticipated to take 4 weeks, was delayed following allegations by the defense that some of the complainants may have been coached by the crown. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
he's linked to the lizard people directly. You know what I'm saying? Like the crown, which is what everyone, we can talk about reptilians today, but I mean that's that's the holy grail, no pun intended, right? That these people are all interconnected and they can get away with things that you and I would not be able to get away with.
So you think he's dragon bloodline?
Oh, dude, 100%. 13 offenses, bro. And then another one, so denied all at least 18 pending. Dude, come on, bro. Come on.
Damn.
This guy is in it. This guy has seen some stuff. I mean, look at his face. You can't tell me that's not a reptilian. That is 100% a reptilian. Okay.
You racist motherfucker. Okay.
No, it's just or maybe he's just, well, I would say
White people be scaly? Is that what you're saying?
No. I was gonna say old rich white dude, but he's Canadian. Would he be?
Mm-hmm.
I guess he would still be white. I mean,
No, Canadians aren't white.
You don't think so? I consider them white.
They've been diluted with like Eskimo blood.
See, and I'm the racist one.
That's facts.
So he commissions this weird statue, okay, and then
Yeah,
I was
blow it up so people can see it. It's huge, guys, and it's in this tiny little park that no one goes to, no one really cares about. Now, across a huge parking lot, it's surrounded by huge parking lots. It's really weird. You can see it on, I think, I-95, or maybe not I-95. Some other roadway goes right by it.
Here, let's pull up the map here because it's right here. So Hollandale Beach. Am I going to be near that this weekend? Because I'm going to be in Miami this weekend.
Here, let's see if I have the video saved.
If anything, I'll pay him a visit. But yeah, it's near 95. Yeah. You could probably see it from 95. It's 110 feet tall. But what an interesting sculpture, right? And what are his ideas? Right? Based on the ideas of Frank Stronach. Like what I like is, you guys not gonna get into it, right?
Mm.
And then of course Skanska. I've worked for this company. Skanska oversaw the construction. So another interesting connection, right? Again, all these multi-billion-dollar companies and people who are super rich, and yeah, so
That's crazy. Yeah, I almost made a video on it, but I was filming it and I was like, there isn't really much to say about it, but
and I got one more for you. Ever heard of Dragon Point
I don't think so.
in Merritt Island? So, whoops, where is it? I have another one here. So, Dragon Point, apparently in Merritt Island, there was a not as big as the one that we just saw, but 65-foot long concrete sculpture of a dragon.
Oh, wow.
And this particular mansion, because it's called the Dragon Point Mansion, is actually up for sale. If you guys want to grab it, it's only a cool I think it was $7.1 million. Okay, so Space Coast developer lists island property that was once home to Florida's iconic Annie the Dragon for $7 million, dude. I think if we all get together and we get enough super chats, I think we could all buy this and make a whole dragon out of it. Make another dragon.
Yep, add it to my cart.
Add it to your cart. Mm-hmm. But check this out. This is on the very tip, and it was here, but it was destroyed by a hurricane in 2002.
Damn.
So and they had built multiple sculptures of dragons on that property. So for decades, and then in 2002, she crumbled into the lagoon despite efforts to rebuild her, and Annie remained a fond memory, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, just a couple of dragons aside from the obvious ones that we're going to be talking about today, which is gators. And you and I had talked about a little bit, right? Genesis, the book of Genesis.
Hmm.
There's different verbiages for the serpent in the garden, right? You had mentioned Nakash. You said the Greek was Draconis. Is that right?
Not in Genesis, I don't think. Let me check. I don't know the Septuagint too well. Let me
Because
double
an
check.
interesting thing, I have the breakdown here of the word Nakash, which I had told you that Nakash has various meanings, right? And when they use the word Nakash, that's what they say, and we can relate this to NASA, to deceive, right? When people think of sneaky people, you're a snake, right? We also all have this primal fear of serpents, right? So
So, just real quick. Again, I'm not a Septuagint guy. I'm not big on the Greek Old Testament, but um, in Genesis 3, so the first appearance of the serpent, it uses the word ophis from what I'm seeing here. And then later on in Exodus, when when
it uses opus, Opus,
ophis,
ophis.
yeah. And then I guess Exodus chapter 7. Well, yeah, at least in one instance, the Greek Old Testament uses dragon instead of serpent.
Draconis.
Hmm.
So again, and we can speak about this in the physical and metaphysical. You know, I don't know where you stand. If you do you believe the events of the Bible actually happened as it says it happened? Do you like? Are you
Yeah.
100% sold on it, or do you think it's more metaphorical?
I believe it's true physically, literally, and historically. But I don't know if, you know, people should hold it to like this strict archaeological
Hmm.
standard where like, oh yeah, we need archaeological evidence for every shred of this. I do give the Bible room for, poetic license. There's some hyperbole, there's some exaggeration. These are useful things that are not, you know, deceptive. They're just basically, they're devices used by other great works and other, you know, great authors and stuff. For example, if it says 1,000, was it really 1,000? Maybe, maybe not.
Yeah,
Could just
yeah.
mean a lot. If it says 10,000, 10,000 could just mean a lot, you know. Things like that. The flood covering every mountain top, that could be true for some people in a boat somewhere because it looks that way. But again, I'm not expecting there to be hardcore evidence that every mountain on earth was covered exactly like the Bible says. Someone keeping the story alive in one area, it can seem that way. It can be true to them that the mountains that they're used to seeing all over the place were no longer there. They disappeared for whatever reason, whether they're covered up, whether they were swept away somewhere else. So, instances like that, I think we need to allow the Bible some yeah, poetic license, like metaphors, figures of speech, idioms, things like that.
And the reason I say that is because obviously right? The serpent in the garden, if it was an actual serpent or not, or if it actually did happen or not. I'm aware that there are various interpretations of the text and of the things we're going to be talking about tonight. But the reason I say that is because let's say that let's say it wasn't just a regular ordinary serpent. Like let's say how I had mentioned to you on the phone when we were talking about how there are some depictions and descriptions of Yahweh being a sort of dragon. Well, the knowledge that this serpent had wouldn't have been available to anybody else, that perhaps the serpent was also part of this council, right, of creation, or he had some sort of ties to God, or you get what I'm saying? Like he just came down, and the way that the Gnostics put it is, the serpent was Sophia warning Adam and Eve about Yaldabaoth, which is again the Gnostic interpretation of the story of creation, where Yaldabaoth is this again, it's a lion-headed serpent, where he has created this false reality in which we live in, and right, that's obviously super heretical. But
Mhm.
stating that they believe that Yaldabaoth had created this reality, out of spite and out of jealousy, right, against the Father, against the One, and he created us and this whole matrix. And the reason that Sophia came down as a serpent, which is the feminine counterpart of the Father, was to warn them, right? He said, hey, if you eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil, you will realize. And that's why he doesn't want you to eat from the tree of knowledge of good and evil. So the serpent, point being that he held some sort of divine knowledge, if you will, right? Some occult knowledge. And how did he get it? Unless he was there or he had some part. You get what I'm saying? Like he was a partner or something.
Mhm.
And what was he doing in the garden? I don't know. Maybe he was trolling to see how much he could get away with. And you have talked about this before, where right, I'm not saying angels or dragons, but kind of similar. A lot of the descriptions of angels are very crazy. I mean, look at Ezekiel, wheels within wheels with a whole bunch of eyes and wings. It's kind of gnarly when you think about it.
Mhm.
It in Ezekiel, he calls it the fiery chariot, right? Almost like again, like a dragon, maybe. And I'm not gonna go crazy with the dragon stuff, but the point I'm trying to make is that this serpent wasn't just any ordinary serpent. And obviously, there's a lot of serpents in Florida, and the word serpent can sometimes be used with dragon, which we have a lot of dragons in Florida with the crocodiles, alligators, and I know you had a whole thing with the Chinese crocodile
Mhm.
and the Chinese worshiping these dragons. And I don't know if
Yeah.
it was one of the comments I saw earlier on one of the videos that was like the Chinese Zodiac has, what was it, 11 real animals and one fake one? Well,
Yeah.
was it fake? Do you think dinosaurs were dragons, bro?
No, not really. I'm not see, people can watch my video on it. I've already made a video on dragons, but basically, um, I am a dragon truther. I'm a dragon, and I think I've done a good job of debunking a lot of these wild dragon theories. Um, we're gonna talk about sea monsters, dragons, serpents, right? The distinction between serpent, snake, and dragon. And but what's really important is we need to knock out some misconceptions right off the bat. Many, many dragons in put that away for a sec. Many, many dragons throughout European legends, right, are really just crocodiles. That's sorry. Hate to rain on your parade. Hate to not take it into Wakanda land and all the fantasy and Tartarian dragon pets and all this. But, and mountains aren't sleeping dragons. That's fucking retarded. That's the dumbest shit I ever see on YouTube is people saying, oh, the mountains are sleeping giants and dead monsters. That's just fucking retarded. Oh, that one elephant rock is definitely a petrified titan. Petrified, I'm just so done with all that stuff. All the petrified giants and all that. I just roll my eyes at it. Sorry. But what are dragons? Dragons, who's a woman we can pick on here? I don't want to say your mom. That's not.
Let's do your
That's
mom
not.
for a bit,
All
bro.
right.
You always talk
I
about
heard
my mom.
I heard your mom, Juan. I heard your mom likes dragons. All right, never mind. You don't get the punchline. All right. Dragons are alligators and crocodiles, and I can prove it to you. Okay? People are going to get upset about that, but this is the truth. Most dragons in ancient times did not have wings. Wings on the dragons is a somewhat recent thing, and it's not essential to a dragon. Dragons do not essentially have wings. That is not a defining characteristic of dragons. In fact, dragons, historically, the farther you look back and the more you weigh all the depictions against each other, dragons were often very low to the ground. Many times they did not have wings. Many of the early European depictions are wingless. St. George the Dragon Slayer, perhaps the most famous dragon slayer, okay? And St. George the Dragon Slayer is believed to have simply killed a problematic crocodile. This is all in my video. So St. George the Dragon Slayer, you'll notice he's also called the Dragon Trampler, the trampler of dragons. How do you trample a dragon with wings?
Mm-hmm.
That indicates it's pretty low to the ground, isn't that right? St. George, Dragon Slayer. I believe George was a Roman soldier. Yeah. St. George was a Roman soldier, early Christian martyr, revered as the legendary dragon slayer. He saved a village in Libya from a dragon, but it wasn't actually a dragon. It was a massive runaway rogue bloodthirsty crocodile. It was a huge crocodile that was so big that no one could kill it, and he killed it. He slayed it. So there's one of perhaps the most famous dragon slayer of all time. And he's kind of the model or the archetype that many other dragon slayers are modeled after. And it tells you right there, if you read the history, he slayed a crocodile. He slayed a huge crocodile that was terrorizing a town. So, yeah.
The dragon in the Pegasus statue has wings.
Yes.
And
now,
apparently he had the reason that they did it was to pay homage to the courage, speed, and power of the horse, and to honor the great contribution that horses have made to human civilizations throughout history. That's what the guy.
Now, we're going to talk about wings, but what's important is dragons. I'm all into words. You tell me what dragon brings to mind.
Dragging.
Exactly.
These nuts.
Exactly. That's why your mom likes dragons so much. She likes when I'm dragging them across her face. So crocodiles used to wander into all these medieval European towns and terrorize them for weeks, months sometimes. And this happens. This even happens today. It still happens. Nile crocodiles, African crocodiles, sometimes, somehow, a storm, diseased rabies, I don't know. They make it to Europe every once in a while. In fact, there used to be native crocodile species right there under the tip of Spain in Morocco. There used to be native Moroccan crocodiles. Let me double check that. Yeah, went extinct as recently as the 1970s.
Wow.
Those things used to wander into Spain all the time. Spain, even France sometimes, Italy, all the time. That's your dragons, people. Those are your dragons where the knight comes and rescues the town, slays the dragon with a sword. Come on, people. You're not killing a fucking flying, fire breathing dragon with a sword. You're just not. Right? So I hate to rain on people's parade, but this is beautiful. It's amazing because we can get to the root of all those, fantastic characteristics of dragons. They're all rooted in real traits of the alligator and crocodile, which is fascinating. So,
So, for example, what was the one that we talked about earlier? The Arthurian legend. Where does that take place? That's
Britain,
Britain.
England,
Uh,
Ireland, Scotland.
is there crocodiles and alligators there? I mean, where would they have gotten?
No, but remember, these myths and legends are often inspired by crusaders who went down to the Middle East and would bring stories back. Legends, oh, this monster, it had scales. It was as long as two men put together. It could eat a man whole. Imagine those stories. And then people who heard those stories wrote them down, made fairy tales and stuff. Now, I think the real question to ask is, where do the wings come in? Where do the wings come into play? Wings have routinely been added to animals, humans throughout history. Just because, and I think it's great that we started out with that Pegasus and dragon thing, because it demonstrates horses are real. Pegasus is not real. That's a composite creature. That is a mythologically, multiple animals composited into one to have some meaning behind it. For example, we've I talk about the angel in the Garden of Eden who's defending the way back to the tree of life with the flaming sword. That angel is not an angel. It's not a humanoid with 2 feet standing there with hands. The angel in the Garden of Eden defending the way back to the tree of life is a cherubim, which is 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. So the angel in Genesis 3 or 4, around there, is the cherubim, which is multiple animals combined. Just search cherubim into Google Images. And that cherubim is the bull mixed with the lion, mixed with the eagle, mixed with the human. Yep. Bingo. That is the cherubim. That's what was guarding the way back to the tree of life. Those are the 4 fixed signs of the zodiac. They're also the 4 animals, creatures most likely to be painted gold in ancient times, excluding the serpent, maybe.
It doesn't
But
describe it though, but it says it's a cherubim, right? Like it's a cherubim or whatever. It
yeah,
says it calls it that, but it doesn't describe it.
later on, not in Genesis 3 or 4, but later on in the Bible, we're given a more descript,
Mhm.
more precise description of the animal. And it does mention the 4 creatures combined into one. So, but all right. So, it's apparent that just because you throw wings on a creature doesn't mean that new creature exists out in nature or ever did, right? So there are, the Pegasus, the horse with wings. There are other examples. Human with wings, that's an angel. What other animals have wings added to them? Dragons. Well, there's that thing.
I can't think of any right now, but yeah,
Dragons are the main one, and we're going to show how that happened. Okay, so most dragons are alligators and crocodiles. Were there sea monsters? Were there strange creatures that went extinct that were other things? That, totally. I can believe in that. But the vast majority of legends, folk tales, local, legends about dragons wandering into medieval European towns, grabbing people, you know, having a lair, having a cave, breathing fire. We're gonna show you all tonight how everything you think about dragons is rooted in reality, except you have to look to alligators and crocodiles to see it. So the breathing fire. Why do they say dragons breathe fire? Well, no animal that's ever been discovered breathes fire. There's a couple bugs that shoot
acid.
burning hot acid that kind of looks like fire and stuff. But no animal, to my knowledge, actually breathes fire. Reptile. Let me double check reptiles. No reptile in the real world actually breathes fire. So some lizards, they spit and they can, hiss and spit acid and stuff like that, but no fire. Well, alligators, I'm gonna pull up some videos of it in a sec here. Alligators, they do what's called bellowing. They bellow. When alligators bellow, that's when they make this noise. They almost chant, grumble, like a roar. It sounds like a roar, more like a lion's roar. And when they do that, it causes a cymatic reaction in the water. It vibrates the water. And it looks like when they play frequencies, musical notes into water at a very high volume, it creates these shapes and these sounds. But it causes the water to spit up, looks like the water's boiling, is what happens. So when the alligator bellows, the water boils on top of it. It looks like it's in a boiling pot of water. And they make this roaring noise. And if it's a little bit cold, okay, if it's just a little bit cold, it steams. It steams immensely. And you actually see this on I'm going to show you guys here. We're going to watch a video of it in a sec, but on the thumbnail here, this is from William Bartram. William Bartram explored the St. Johns River around 1700s, somewhere around there, 1750, 1760, 1770, 1780, I don't know. But he explored Florida, and he's one of the first English speakers to give an account of alligators in Florida. Look at what he drew. Okay, if you saw alligators, if you only had a week or two to see alligators and you could only make one sketch and you came back home with this sketch and you didn't get to describe this sketch, they just saw this sketch, what would you think that dragon's doing? What would you think that alligator's doing? Breathing fire?
Rolling up, bro.
Breathing smoke out of his nose? So what's real is that alligators breathe smoke, steam out of their nose. When they bellow, when the water's cool and they are very warm and they bellow, which, by the way, bellowing is what you do to stoke a fire.
Mm.
That's what they call it. That weird accordion thing that you use to blow a fire. That's the bellows. They're bellowing. So alligators bellow, and steam comes out of their nose, and people used to see that, and it eventually got confused for fire. Sorry to be all mythbusters here, but
So, and imagine at this time in Florida, right, the last frontier, and if I'm gonna bring up this is a crocodile, but I mean same thing. But I mean, think about how big they could have got back then, to where people, when they saw this, was a Gomec. It was a large saltwater crocodile. It wasn't from Florida, but it was kept in Ocala. But I could imagine back then they could get pretty big. This guy was 17 feet 9 inches. So, and he was caught in 1968. So imagine an untouched Florida in its prime, undeveloped Florida, how big the gate. And I've seen some big gators in the Everglades, and that's like now, right? So imagine back then when they could just roam free and do whatever. I'm sure there was some really, really big ones at some points, and they could be mistaken for supernatural creatures, right? I mean, I could definitely see it, bro. But apparently you're muted, bro.
sorry. Here. So what you're speaking about, Juan, we actually have some evidence for this. When the French and the hang on.
You're gonna pull up the Temuco? Yeah, there you go.
Here you go. When the French first arrived in Florida, they drew pictures of the Indians and their interactions with the animals of Florida. And this is what they drew. And this was an eyewitness. So this guy didn't, they're not just
Yeah.
exaggerating based off reports. They didn't just they're not just reading a prompt and creating this. This guy actually went to Florida and saw. So he's saying that it took 6 of these guys with a big wooden pole to take down an alligator. And that was their method of doing it. They would corner an alligator, get them to open their mouth, and then shove a pole down their mouth, Juan's mom style.
Just how you like it?
Just no, I beat you to it. I beat you to it. So yeah.
So, dude, I mean, how I know I found a picture of you and I back in the day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, check this out.
Hell
Just chilling, dude. Got the
Yep.
Gator mobile on
Mhm.
deck. Is this a real picture? This has got to be a fake picture. There's no way, right?
No, I think it's real. Yeah.
You think it's real?
I think it's real. Yeah. They used to do that.
Bro, how baller is that? I mean, I had a pet gator for a while, and then I had a call. So I had a pet gator in a pond, and his name was Barry. I got videos of Barry, but the thing with Barry was he was cool. He was too cool. The thing is, I had tenants, so I couldn't have a cool alligator with people there because it's a liability.
Mhm.
So Barry is in this pond. My cows could go into the pond, the horses, everything, and he wouldn't do anything to them. He liked to eat. He liked to eat bread. And then one day, since it's next to a nature preserve, there was a gator that came from the reserve into the pond and drove Barry out. And that gator was an asshole. And he bit one of my cows, and it actually got infected, and the cow died because it got bit. Because mind you, they were used to being around Barry, which Barry did nothing to them. Then this new guy comes in and he's just biting everybody. So we had to call FWC to pick it up. And then after we had taken it, Barry came back, but then we're like, he's got to go too because it's dangerous. If you have kids walking around and stuff like that, like, oh, look at the gator, and
Yeah, so dangerous.
it's a wild animal.
You moved to Florida, dude. You want no gators? Go back to Puerto Rico.
Well, we
You want
have
no
caimans in Puerto Rico, bro. So you're not safe in Puerto Rico 100%.
those things are tiny though, right? Like they couldn't really.
Yeah, they're pretty
They
pretty
could
small.
they could eat a kid if they
But
wanted.
yeah, so it's an invasive crocodilian species in Puerto
They're
Rico.
invasive?
Yeah, dude.
Huh.
So the speckled caiman introduced in Latin America, United States, Cuba, and Puerto Rico. Yeah, so it's a little guy. They're really mean though,
Yeah.
but they're tiny. But anyways, yeah, we had to
Well,
get rid of Barry and
Well, speaking of tiny gators, okay, so let's put the European legends to the side for a sec. Okay, and we're gonna talk about the alchemists, how every alchemist worth his salt had a stuffed crocodile in his laboratory. But speaking of tiny gators, let's bust another one of these huge myths. You touched on it for a sec earlier. The Chinese Zodiac. The dragon and the Chinese Zodiac. This is a huge debate, huge controversy. We always hear people say all of the Chinese Zodiac animals are real except one, the dragon. Why is that? Why would they all be real except the dragon? Owen Benjamin, shout out Owen Benjamin, he asks even a better question, I think. Why isn't the panda on the Chinese Zodiac? You got an animal that only lives in your country and you don't put it on the Zodiac? What the hell? Like, we need rat and rabbit. You can't throw fucking panda bear on there. But so yeah, there's the Chinese Zodiac. Every animal's real except the dragon, and they have snake and dragon. So what the hell? Now you'll notice, Juan, can you search Chinese alligator, please? Guys, breaking news. I don't know how many of you knew this. There's only 2 places in the world that have alligators. Number 1, Florida, of course, and the Southeast United States. Not Cuba, not the Bahamas, not anywhere in the Caribbean do they have alligators. Only the Southeast United States and Florida especially. Remember, all the Southeast United States used to be called La Florida.
mm-hmm.
Well, China is the only other place in the world that has native alligators. You gonna hit it?
China.
I was looking for it, bro. I gotta.
Yeah.
I've been gone a long time.
All right. China. So China has alligators, and it's only in it's almost like the exact same thing as the panda.
Why does this guy look like Godzilla, bro? Look at this guy.
Yep. They look
Oh my
weird.
God.
They only live in a small part of China. And Juan, there's only like 300 left. They've only ever had like a couple hundred at most. They're extremely endangered, extremely extinct, near extinction, kind of like the panda a little bit.
Yeah, 68 to 150 adults.
And they have a hard time mating in captivity, kind of like the panda. So here's my thing is, as much as I want to talk about this and go down all the rabbit holes and why only Florida and why only China, I mean, right off the bat, a good question to ask is, are these things even real? Is China just trying to come out with another thing?
Compete.
Well, here, let's go this direction. If you go to the Chinese alligator Wikipedia. Can you look at that, please?
But real quick, because let's think about that for a second. It does make sense. So in the wild, they have about 150 or so. In
Mhm.
captivity, they have over 10,000. Okay, so they've obviously learned to breed them and make them
Yeah.
reproduce, right? But think about that. China isn't the hide, but the skin of an alligator valuable? Wouldn't it make sense for them to, even if they created it themselves, create it to be able to use its skin to sell to the rest of the world? Because I mean, China is known as that, right? Made in China. It's known as
Mhm.
producing a bunch of things. So I mean, you're saying that, but I'm thinking about it from that perspective. Like, yeah, maybe they did create it and
Mhm.
they created it to make money off of it, right?
Good. Now, why I first got into the Chinese alligator is because yep, exactly. It is well known in China. So we're kind of just tackling misconceptions here, right? In China, it's well known that the dragon was inspired by the Chinese alligator. It's well known. The Chinese dragon is just an alligator. That's it. Keyword search dragon. You'll see. And I know this is just Wikipedia, but still. It's a well known fact in China that their dragon is just an alligator.
Oh, Marco
And
Polo.
they call it the Muddy Dragon. The Muddy Dragon.
So they called your mom back in high school, isn't it?
Yep.
The Muddy Dragon, bro.
Yep.
All right.
So the Muddy Dragon is the direct inspiration for the Chinese dragon. So voila, it's not mythical at all. Unless it's kind of like the panda thing, where they were mythical. There's this legend, and then they perhaps create a creature to satisfy the hunt for that, to satisfy the thirst for the legend and to make it a tourism thing. Now,
Mm.
the reason I don't really think that about the dragon, it's pretty compelling with the panda. I mean, Owen Benjamin's done a great job of laying out the case that pandas aren't real,
They only
right?
ovulate like 3 times a year or something like that.
Yeah.
It's
Mud dragons. Yo, that's what we're calling chicks who date black guys in Florida from
those
now
are
on.
yeah, I was about to
Mud,
say the actual thing, but you beat me to it.
mud dragons. But
Can't
but
spell alligator without AI. That one.
you can't. Well,
Oh,
Juan,
dude, hold on, man. This is
what's
crazy.
up?
I've seen alligators, man. Like this is I wouldn't go as far as like they're fake. Are
I'm
they
not
fake to
saying they're
you?
fake. I'm saying the Chinese one's fake. Listen, the Chinese one is
It's
it's
the
like a
knockoff. It's the replica. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
exactly. It's tiny. It looks like a mutated version of the regular. It honestly looks like a Cuban crocodile. If you search Cuban crocodile, they are tiny mini
They're
versions.
gimped. They're
Yeah.
little. Yeah. They're like low riders. Look at
They
them.
hop. Yeah, they hop too. They don't. They hop almost like frogs. They're pretty funny.
Look at
So
that.
yeah, so the Chinese alligator is very small, by the way. Chinese alligators do not get big. They at most get like 7 feet long, but there were ancient legends of them growing to giant sizes in China. There's legends of that. Now, somewhere along the line, China, by the way, the Chinese phoenix, search this up, Chinese phoenix, please, is just a peacock with wings, with added wings. Or it's actually like a inspiration.
Yeah, it is a peacock
Is that
with an
what it
X.
says?
What?
Is that what it says?
No, I don't. Is the Fang Guang are mythical birds? are understood to reign all over. So commonly called Chinese phoenixes. So it's like a chimera too. It's got the beak of a rooster, the face of a swallow, the forehead of a fowl, the neck of a snake, the breast of a goose, the back of a tortoise, the hinder
Yeah, but
quarters of a stag.
let's be real, okay? It's really just a peacock.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah.
at the end of the day, that's a peacock with some added, embellishments,
Yeah,
and then the dragon is an alligator with some added embellishments.
yeah.
These two animals, it's clearly a peacock mixed with some other stuff.
They're found in Florida in the wild.
Both these animals are real,
Mm-hmm.
you know. Dragons are alligators. The fact that crocodiles inspired European dragon myths, and the fact that the Chinese dragon is directly inspired by the Chinese alligator, I think that's case closed. That 99% of dragon stories, dragon myths, are just crocodilians, crocodile or alligator. They breathe fire, which we'll get into. But so yeah, Chinese dragon. What do you guys think?
Somebody said, what about Japan? Does Japan have any? Japan has dragons too, right?
I don't know. They're probably not as well known for them.
Japanese dragons, revered water deities. So
Exactly. There's another giveaway.
look at
Juan.
this. It's like a
Juan.
bird with a what?
Dragons in Asia are 99% of the time are
Mhm.
aquatic creatures. They're like gods of the water, gods of the ocean and stuff. That's an alligator or crocodile, people. Come on. And then also, but guys, Dr. Longo, go to the Chinese dragon Wikipedia. Do you guys know what the name for the Chinese dragon is? The long, the lung, long or lung.
What the hell is it?
Well, it's the Chinese dragon, not the alligator.
Oh,
They
Chinese
call
dragon.
it the long. So Dr. Lungo, okay?
Yeah, the long or loong. Oh,
Yep. Long dick. Beep.
all
They
right.
call me that. They call me
Settle,
that.
settle down, buddy. Settle down. Okay. So, are dinosaurs real or not, bro? You think they're
I don't think
fake?
they're real.
Yay?
No, I don't
No.
think they're real. No. You can't kick over a dinosaur bone. It just doesn't happen. And people say, "Oh, that's millions of years, not thousands." So they're all going to be deep in the ground. Really? Mudslides, excavators, when people don't bump into dinosaur bones. There's extinct animals. There were many animals on this earth that have since gone extinct. Saber-toothed tiger,
The dodo
mammoth,
bird was my favorite.
mastodon. In Florida, you can trip over these things. They're all over the place. There's not a single dinosaur bone in all of Florida. In all of Florida. Not an aquatic one, not a land one. There's an exhibit in one of the museums, I think the Marco Island Museum or Historical Society, that says, "Why no dinosaur bones in Florida?" Question mark. And it's literally a copium explanation about why there's no dinosaurs. Yeah, they say
Oh,
Florida
it was
Peninsula.
underwater, bro. That's why, dude.
Oh, well, there weren't any dinosaurs that swam. They didn't live. They didn't have sea monster dinosaurs that sank and were buried in Florida. It's BS. It's complete BS. And if anything, it's proof that, let's say the Garden of Eden does, let's say Florida is the Garden of Eden, and evolution and all that does somehow come into play. Well, Florida is dinosaur free, and I like that too. Okay, we don't need those fucking things around here. We
Not
don't need.
anymore. I mean,
Yeah.
now we got anacondas and everything in the Everglades. We have gators. I mean, have you seen the videos of like the gators when they're mating and when the helicopter flies over and they all just like scatter everywhere, just thousands and thousands of gators?
Hmm.
I
Yeah,
mean,
dinosaur bones are fake. You can literally go kick mammoth bones in Florida. There's a river. There are rivers in Florida right now. You get multiple of your friends and go on this river. You're gonna find so many mammoth bones you won't even know what to do with them. Okay, teeth, little knuckles and joints. You get lucky, you get one of those huge femur bones that are like, you know, 3, 4 feet long. They're all over the place. Why no dinosaurs? It's
mhm.
because Florida's too young. Oh, they all went extinct before Florida showed up. Okay, that's convenient. And why do they say this? Why do they have to say this? Because Florida is the place on Earth arguably most conducive towards like preserving fossils. I don't know if fossil's the right word, but mineralized remains. Like if a bone falls into the spring water here in Florida, it it gets mineralized, which is like a form of similar to fossilization. You know, it's not being embedded in like mud or like pressed down into something, but because it's in the spring water, it soaks up all the minerals in the springs, and things are preserved forever in many of these springs. So
And
the crystal clear spring water in Florida can preserve bones almost perfectly.
brain matter, bro. I mean, there's still brain
Well,
matter in
that's
those skulls.
yes, that's the swamp water. That's like the muddy bog water. That's even better for soft tissue. Like Juan said, whole brains can survive 10,000 years in a skull in a Florida swamp. You know, in Europe, they used to submerge butter and cheese in bogs because if you push it down far enough in a bog, it's oxygen free and it'll preserve almost anything. So bog butter used to be a thing that put big hunks of butter in in the swamp by their house to preserve it. Yeah,
Really?
yeah. Search that up. Bog butter.
Bog butter? Some
Mhm.
of these things I gotta make sure.
Yeah, that's my
What?
favorite cat. That's my favorite category on P Hub. Bog butter. Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I got to be careful with what I search sometimes because obviously an ancient waxy lump of dairy or animal fat buried in peat bogs thousands of years ago. Bro,
Yeah.
what?
Real.
That's wild.
You want some of that on your rice and beans, Juan?
I'm good, bro. So, you mentioned we're talking about Florida, we're talking about gators, we're talking about all these things. Can we touch on the Cetus connection with Florida and um I forgot if we talked about the native people and their stories of water deities or similar kind of
Yeah.
dragon-esque.
So the Seminoles, they have something pretty interesting. They have
It's Whore's Island, bro. Is that where your mom's at?
yeah. Uh hmm. Uh no, actually, no, my mom's not over there. But you and your mom and I have actually been eyeing a an Airbnb over in Krumakuchi.
Oh man. All right. I had to, but I seen it earlier. I was like, oh yeah,
Been thinking about getting out of town and heading over to Withlacoochee.
with Lakuchi.
Krumakuchi, Withlacoochee,
Oh.
Kissimmee.
All right, let's get serious. So
Two Eggs. You know, there's a town in Florida called Two Egg.
two egg.
Yeah.
I'm not googling that.
Two Egg, Florida.
Two egg Florida.
Yeah. Yep. You are Googling it.
On another screen I am, yeah. Jack's on the panhandle. Oh, that's not Florida though, bro. It's on the panhandle.
Right.
We don't consider that Florida.
Why? Because it's not full of Puerto Ricans.
Yeah.
Those aren't your people.
Florida's like Ocala down. That's Florida.
Yeah,
2-egg Florida. That's crazy.
you're not wrong. Panhandle's just like Alabama 2.0.
Yeah, 100%.
Alabama Plus, Alabama Premium.
So it's like whenever I talk to somebody like, yeah, I'm in such and such place, whatever, and it's like the rule of thumb is if you don't know, if you've never heard of it in Florida, it's probably far as hell in the Panhandle or somewhere. And 9 times out of 10, when you Google it, like, oh, that's far. Bach butter. Yeah, that's a special kind of butter.
Yeah.
So, anyways, sorry for the interruption, but what were you saying? Because there's a Cetus connection, right? Because a serpent, a Leviathan. We talked about Leviathan, where Leviathan is again almost like a dragon-esque type of sea creature. Kraken, right? Kraken's uh, it's a squid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Kraken.
Squid. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a squid.
You know, that's your favorite mom. It's your mom's favorite animal.
Yeah.
Yeah, she loves when I'm cracking her from
Kraken
behind.
D's nuts. You like
Cracking.
Wendy's, bro?
Why? Not really.
Wendy's nuts.
Yeah.
All right. So what were you saying about the Cetus and the indigenous people before I interrupted you?
So all over Florida, there are all these mound sites, and if you know anything about mounds and earthworks, you'll know they're usually arranged or oriented to the stars or some astronomically significant point. So, like, what do they call it? The lunar maximum, um, the solstitial points, right? Things like that. Equinox, solstice, movements of the moon. Earthworks were often used to track or harmonize with those. Now, Florida, what's interesting, if you go to a place like, the Great Pyramids of Giza, that's Orion's belt primarily. You're seeing the three pyramids in the middle or three stars of Orion's belt. But there's other examples, and certain parts of the world almost have like a patron zodiac sign or a patron constellation. In Florida, what's interesting is it's very often in all these different sites around Florida, it's almost always Pisces or the very next constellation right next to it, Cetus or Cetus. I forget how to say it. So Cetus is right next to Pisces, and Cetus is like the sea monster, the Leviathan. Some people say the whale, some people say sea serpent, but yeah. So, what are the odds that this is like the preferred constellation of the ancient Floridians? And I know we're talking about the dragon, but on the fish, real quick, Pisces, Florida's birthday is March 3rd. That makes Florida a Pisces. Florida's characteristics are very Pisces. Lots of fishing, lots of drugs, rehab centers, um, spirituality, religion is big in Florida. People don't know that. All the churches took hold in Florida for the first time in the United States. Protestant, Catholic, and Orthodox all started in Florida in American history. So,
Does death have anything to do with that astrological alignment? Because right when you
yeah,
think of Florida, you think of people coming to
yep,
die, but is that
exactly.
part of ascension? Would that be considered an ascension, or would that be considered a bad thing? Where does
Well,
that fall with that?
Florida, Pisces does rule death in a way. Not many people talk about that, but Pisces is the last sign of the zodiac. Therefore, it rules the end, the final, your final breaths, your final chapter of your life. And Pisces does rule death, especially natural death, like dying of old age. So making it to old age, dying suddenly in tragic ways, that's often associated with Scorpio. So Pisces, what it's known for, fish, The elderly. Pisces is the oldest sign of the zodiac because it's the last sign. People say Pisces are like an old person stuck in a young person's body. So, mhm.
Yeah. So again, the indigenous people were obviously tapping into something, and then Florida's birthday being March 3rd, 3/3. Right, we've talked about Freemasonry, and they focus on a lot on ascending, I guess, right to the master mason.
Yeah.
It's all about. I've also heard that Disney World, because it had a Freemasonic sort of club, Club 33, right?
Hmm.
That's famous there. It's on
Yep.
the 28th parallel, and the 28th parallel, and Templarism is the degree of the sun, which would make sense in the sunshine state.
Mm.
And in California, Disneyland is on the 33rd.
The sunshine state is like almost like being in a state of sunshine, like
Yeah.
my state of mind.
Yeah. Or as I like to call it, the gunshine state, because right, we can
Hmm.
literally anyone can buy a weapon
Almost.
here.
Yep. We're open
Almost.
carry, open carry now too, which is crazy.
Yeah, I saw that Publix put out like a press or something about saying that you can't go into their stores open carrying because something happened. But
At
I think open
first,
carrying is stupid.
mm, yeah, there's good arguments on both sides, but I don't think Second Amendment should be infringed at all, and that includes putting up with a lot of nonsense from a lot of idiots. That's the price you pay for having freedom. You gotta put up with idiots doing it for attention or gangbangers doing it. That's the way it works. The rights, we have apply to everyone. So, but hey.
Yeah. No, most definitely. And like that's the thing. I don't. Whenever I go somewhere else, like for example, I don't know if Tennessee has any laws against it, but I really like Tennessee. But I just can't see myself living anywhere else that's not Florida. Because like on top of that, it's like, what am I going to do with all my guns? And like, can I have guns in this new state? Like Colorado, I don't think you have anything there. But I just every single time I go somewhere, I see if I can picture myself living there to move there, and it always goes back down to Florida, bro. So like, there's no place like home, like Florida. So Pisces is also dreams and some new agers too. What is that? A Pisces has to do with dreams, a dream state as well.
Yep. Pisces rules sleep. Um, and dreams, that's kind of why Pisces rules drugs and dreams, like fantasy, imagination, psychedelics, kind of this like a fantasy world. Pisces rules like all forms of fantasy worlds. And, but yeah. All right, let's move on from Pisces. So, pretty cool that another constellation frequently depicted across Florida is Cetus or Cetus. So the Native Americans were tapped in. Guys, what are the odds of that? In ancient times, the Native Americans, who apparently knew nothing about organized astrology, they understood that Florida was. Oh wow, I like that. That one in the
Wait,
middle.
so
The one in the middle is really cool.
yeah, it looks like a dragon.
Yeah.
So for the indigenous people, was it Cetus that they were aligning these mounds up to, or was it did they believe it was something else, like similar to Cetus? You get what I'm saying? Because Cetus is from Greek mythology.
Hmm.
So
Well, here's what's cool. I hear Cetus. Cetus kind of shows up in different ways. Like sometimes a huge sea monster like a dinosaur, sometimes just a shark, sometimes a whale, you know?
oh yeah.
And it's almost like a concept, kind of like Leviathan. Like Leviathan originally probably meant some sea dragon, some sea monster, but it has been applied to whales now and kind of used for a lot of, many animals, creatures. But here, that one in the front, or the one you were just looking at with like the hooves in the front and the mermaid tail in the back
This one?
with the horns, yeah. Click on that image. So this is what's pretty cool. Capricorn is a sign of the zodiac. Doesn't have anything to do with Pisces, really. But Capricorn is the sea goat, and it looks just like that. Kind of. Less dragony, but hooves in the front and a mermaid tail in the back. Now, the Native Americans, to your question, they didn't have the same names for all the constellations that we did in the West, Europe and Eurasia and the Greeks. But the Native Americans had their own kind of characters. One of them that I think is their version of Cetus is the underwater panther. You ever heard of this?
No.
Underwater panther. It's a popular deity or creature in southeastern Native American
How do you say this? Ojibwa?
Ojibwe.
Ojibwe?
Yeah.
So the Great Lynx, one of the most powerful mythological creatures in American folklore. So
Underwater panther, yeah. Click on that. This is kind of like the Native American dragon. It has horns. It goes underwater. It's dragon-like. It has scales.
a long tail.
Yep. Now, this could be like,
That's a dragon, bro. Look at that.
I know.
I'm sorry, a gator.
Maybe not. Oh yeah, there's the that's cool. Okay, we're gonna talk about that. The alligator. Write that down. We're gonna talk about that in a sec. The alligator effigy mound is really cool. It's debated whether it's actually an alligator. Some people say it's a possum. Okay, because it's got that curvy tail. Alligator tails don't really curve like that. Looks like a monkey or a possum. So some people called it the possum mound, some people called it the monkey mound, but most people think that it's like a kind of eroded alligator shape, or underwater panther is the other possibility. But that place is pretty cool. So what were we talking about just now?
We were talking about the underwater panther.
Underwater panther, yeah. So underwater panther, I think, looked pretty dang close to some of those creatures we were just looking at.
Yeah.
And this is almost like the Native American dragon. Now, they do have some of these versions, some of these myths are in as far south as Florida, where they do have alligators. But the farther you get away from alligator habitat, think about how legends and stories would inspire, just a quick little story, hearing about an alligator for the first time could inspire a creature like this, If you've never seen one, but you keep hearing stories about them, you could maybe come up with some creature like this. And
Yeah.
chupacabra. So yeah, sometimes the chupacabra is like kind of aquatic, isn't it?
Yeah, I remember growing up. I was I think 5 years old, 6 years old. I remember when these stories came out of the chupacabra and
Yeah.
of stories of like these hands getting in through people's shutters trying to grab them. My dad knew people whose livestock was quote unquote sucked of their blood and just completely destroyed. And I remember them telling me like, "Yeah, we're gonna stay up all night trying to catch this thing," because it was a real like phenomenon when it started happening in Puerto Rico. And like I said, it still sticks with me till this day, all these years later. But this was around the time and I was 5 or 6, maybe a little bit older, but I remember the stories of them telling me. I wanted to bring up one thing, right? Because another really notable serpent slash dragon god is Quetzalcoatl, which is
Yeah.
the rainbow serpent, right? I mean, we hear about that one. That one's Mesoamerican, which I mean, in that area, there's some gators, right? In that
They
area.
they have they have caimans and I think crocodiles, not alligators. But I think they have caimans and crocodiles. I could be wrong. One of the two.
And this is one of the more famous ones. And I believe because one of the things I wanted to talk about to kind of relate it, to the reptilians and things of this nature of the stories of dragons that would take human form because these dragons were given powers, like these special powers. And if you've ever played Dungeons and Dragons, which I'm sure you haven't, uh, like there's a whole bunch of. Are you muted? You're muted.
Sorry. Thanks. It's really important that I say this. No, I have never played Dungeon and Dragons because I'm not gay like
All right.
you.
Okay. Okay. Yo, what was that even from, dude?
I
Where do
was
we find that?
probably making fun of you or making fun of
Everybody
someone.
chill.
Oh man. Anyways, I am a nerd. Okay, so who cares?
Hey, bro, quit spamming.
I just block him.
Quit spamming.
Did you block him?
I'm not gonna block him. I think he comments a
Hey,
lot.
he's autistic. All right, take it easy on him.
Quit spamming. You're gonna get blocked.
So back to the Dungeons and Dragons. In Dungeons and Dragons, there's a bunch of different types of dragons. They do all these different things. We've talked about. we oh yeah, didn't you play lacrosse, bro?
I did play lacrosse. Yeah, hell yeah. I'm more Native American than half these fucking Indians because I played lacrosse growing up. I did archery growing up. I hunted in Florida. So I'm a Native American.
All right.
Yeah.
All right. The powers that these dragons get. There's some stories about them taking human form and mating with humans,
Yeah.
right? So that's where you could possibly get. And then I know this is controversial. This is not something I believe, but if we take the descriptions of Yahweh and how some people do or and some people don't believe that he's the father of Jesus,
Mhm.
right? If Yahweh is described as a dragon throughout different texts and passages, then it would make sense, and the whole Merovingian, the Holy Grail bloodline sort of thing falls into line. And it's like the Knights Templar because it we talked about the palm trees and how that relates to the Knights Templar and how I believe it's also tied into the secret bloodline. I guess that's where we get into the reptilian side of things, where if this thing was looked as, in some cultures revered as a god essentially, then I'm sure people would want to be like that too, right? I mean, they wanted to be like the gods, and that's why they did offerings and everything to them.
Yeah.
So, um, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Since we got Quetzalcoatl on, I think it's another name for Quetzalcoatl or kind of a similar deity. Kukulkan. Can you search that up, please?
Oh yeah, Kukulkan.
Ku Kukulkan. I think it's the same deity, right?
Yeah, it's one of those where like there's all these similarities, but they're different people, different times.
It's like syncretized.
Yeah, exactly. It's like that's a ancient alien sort of thing.
Or
Like, look, it's it
There's
was
one
alien.
One's Maya and one Aztec. Is that the difference?
Yeah, so Sir Maya and
Yes.
then Quetzalcoatl is Aztec, I believe.
Yeah.
So
So
yes,
what's pretty
Aztec.
interesting is Quetzalcoatl, Kukulkan. Every time I talk about this guy who's just spamming in the chat, I mean, I can't blame him for
Jesus was the head
trying
nagger in the car.
to not this one, not this comment, but yeah. So, have you ever heard of this? This guy's gonna
of
be pissed.
of what?
Sorry, Alan. So Jesus was a carpenter, right?
Yeah.
in Hebrew, the word for builder or carpenter was nagar. And all these people, all these black Israelites and stuff, they try and say that Jesus was black because the Bible calls him a nagar.
What up, my Nagar?
And it's like naggers is what you say when you don't want to say the word, you know?
Oh man. Okay.
So
Okay. What up? Yeah, what up, my Nagas? Hey, because Naga is also a serpent. Isn't that a serpent? The serpent in Indian folklore? The Nagas?
yes. Yeah. So Nagas is like the wise serpent deities.
Another one. Another one of
Yeah.
these, yeah, the Nagas. But
Mhm.
these are, yeah, Indian.
Mhm.
Have you seen all the videos of like these influencers that go to India and eat the food and just get like die? Some of them have died from eating.
So, yeah. So you know what do
Can we
black people
talk? Can
hang
we
on,
talk about the explosive diarrhea?
yeah, real quick. What do black people like to drink in America?
Hennessy?
Hennessy. What do they like to drink in Japan?
I don't know.
Nagasaki. Uh, them Nagas like that sake, yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure they do.
Uh, so yeah, Nagas, these black Israelite people, and I'm not saying the commenter is. He says he's white, blonde hair, blue eyes, all good, man. Even if you
Thanks
weren't,
for
that's all
rubbing
right.
it in, dude. I'm
But
part of the Aryan race.
the Nagar thing's a little ridiculous, and that's coming from me being, the word stretching guy.
When did the N word come? When was it created?
Not soon enough.
Wait a minute. So the racial slur N word evolved from the Latin Niger, or yeah,
No,
meaning black.
that's not true.
Hold on. It says
The
16th
Spanish
century.
used to call them. So Niger means black too. Damn. So it is the same word.
Whoa, dude.
Um,
So you know H.P. Lovecraft? Do you know the name of H.P. Lovecraft's cat?
no.
All right. So apparently, yeah, just look it up. Look up H.P. Lovecraft's cat name. Don't not on stream. But I have this other thing here where H.P. Lovecraft wrote in 1912 on the creation of the N-word is the title of an overtly racist white supremacist poem written by author H.P. Lovecraft.
Mm,
Yikes. That's crazy, bro. Yeah, we asked the hard questions here. We're trying to find the truth. We're
yep.
truth seekers trying to find the truth. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, apparently it's got a Wikipedia page too, bro. The N word. We go into the history, the early
Well,
use,
I always
16th
heard.
century, bro.
I always heard it was because the Spanish, the word negro in Spanish, uh,
Means black.
yeah, I
Yeah.
thought that was the origin of it. And the Spaniards came to Florida, and they'd say negro, negro, and that became anglicized to instead of gra or grow, became gur. You
No, it
know,
became what up?
right?
What up, my
True.
nagas? All right. And you know, these are things you don't really think about. Like, hey, when did they start using this? You know, well, why is this a bad thing? Like, when was it introduced? Because there's a lot of words that we use today that, I mean, I've heard this. Shout out to Slick Dissident, where when we're speaking, words we're invoking certain people's gods. Like Thursday is Thor,
Hmm.
right? Friday is Freya. So we're invoking all these gods of ancient, and we do it without knowing, right? So it's always good to look back of like when something was introduced into
Hmm.
the vocabulary. But anyways, yeah, back to Quetzalcoatl and
So Kukulkan is a dragon, right?
mhm.
And that name, every time I used to come across this name, I would think of, and I know I'm not alone here, the Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan. Ku Klux Klan. Pretty interesting. Now, in the Ku Klux Klan, who's the leader of that? We're just going to say KKK from here on. Who's the leader of the KKK? What's his
Called
title? What's
a
his
Great
title?
Dragon or something like that.
The Grand Dragon.
The Grand Dragon.
So that's pretty interesting. I think there's something to that. Now, there's another mythological figure. Olaf in the chat said it. He already beat us to it. That is Culhane. Search CU.
What?
Yes,
CU.
CU. CHULAIN.
CHU. This right here? Kulane?
Yeah. Yeah.
Chulane or Kulane. How do you say that? Chulane?
I think it's Cuchulainn. Cuchulainn.
Cool.
Cuchulainn.
Cool. All right.
Come on, do the Jewish noise. It's a Celtic thing too. See, that's the evidence.
What?
That's all the evidence you need that Jewish and Celtic are very closely related. The noise.
Oh. Yeah, I can't. I'm not good with impressions.
Cool.
$5. That's the only one I can do. So who's this guy? Irish.
He's Irish demigod hero.
So like a Hercules type of.
Yeah, slays the hound. So not a dragon, but he slayed a dog, big hound. And trained in martial arts, who gave him the spear. So,
What year is this from, dude?
I don't know, like 1,000 years ago, more.
Trained in martial arts. Yeah, I never heard about this guy before.
Khan, pretty close to Khan.
Can we go back to the Grand Dragon, because it made me think of the King Arthur legend, and King Arthur's dad being was it Pendragon? Pendragon, right?
Mhm.
So do you know why they call it a Grand Dragon, the master or whatever it is?
I don't.
I wonder if that's got like something to do with, again,
but remember, the only link that I could think of was the KKK came out of the KGC, and the KGC's plan was to go take over all of Mexico and to take over the Caribbean and like all of Mesoamerica. So maybe they had some infatuation with Kukulkan Khan
or Quetzalcoatl, yeah.
But
no, because a lot of these groups, like, right, it's always hidden in plain sight sort of thing, where maybe they know things that we don't. So maybe they were looking, you have to sort of look deeper into it. It's like, what was down there other than this god that, right? The dragon, I can't really think of anything else that would make sense. I wonder if I could Google that. Why was it the head guy, right? Was it the head dragon?
Yeah, Grand Dragon.
Is not the absolute head. All right, so apparently in the clan structure, Grand Dragon is not the absolute head of the organization. They are the high-ranking leader in charge of a realm, which typically corresponds to a single U.S. state.
Yeah.
The titles within the KKK are based on fraternal structure designed to intimidate outsiders. There's also a Grand Wizard, a Great Titan, an Exalted Cyclops. What the hell's going on? These guys are playing Dungeons and Dragons, bro. That's all they want to do. They just want to play some D&D. And that's why they LARP and put on all these suits and stuff. Sounds kind of fun, I'm not gonna lie. So
on, you trying to start a chapter?
trying
to start a realm.
I'm just saying,
it's like, have you ever seen Harold and Kumar?
Which one? I was like,
when they pull off Harold and Kumar go to Guantanamo Bay. They pull off two of the guys' hoods in the KKK, and it's an Asian guy and an
Oh
Indian
yeah,
guy.
yeah. Is it in the jail or
But
something like that?
no, they break out of jail and then they're sneaking through the woods and they
I've
stumble
seen it.
on.
I know what you're talking. I like Dave Chappelle's one though. You want to see my face? And he pulls off the hood and
Oh
he's
yeah,
a black guy. Bro, comedy back then was so like we look at it now, it's like super cringy. And back then that was like the funniest thing ever. We grew up on that stuff, but whatever.
Mhm.
Yeah, but these guys sound like they're just LARPing, dude. The Grand Wizard, the absolute national leader. Is there a Grand Wizard today? Is the KKK alive today?
I don't know, man. You're asking the wrong guy.
I don't know. I think you might be the right guy.
Yeah, you're right. Um, I only know what I know about the KKK was through learning about the KGC. Here's what's pretty cool. The when I searched um when I searched KKK Grand Dragon origin, this is what AI told me. Here, I'll let you guys see too.
It's a need to know basis.
So this is the title of Grand Dragon in the KKK originated during the reorganization of the clan into the Invisible Empire in the summer of 1867. Invisible Empire. That's literally another giveaway that the KKK came out of the KGC, whose goal was to create an invisible empire, to change, to move from, the
Mm-hmm.
Southeast United States to expand into Mesoamerica, take it over, make it into a slave empire, an invisible empire, because it was a secret society. The secret society was founded around the goal of creating this empire. So,
Did they practice any occult? Like, did they have any occult beliefs? Did they do any? They did rituals, right? They
yeah,
did ceremonies and stuff. But like,
yeah,
how occult did it get?
pretty occult. I mean, they were just Freemasons for the most part. They're just the Confederate Freemasons, the KGC. Most Masons in the South joined the KGC because they didn't. Um, the North, the Masons were very influential in the North, and people were worried that the Masons would have too much influence in the South. And they're trying, they're supposed to be enemies, but Masons aren't allowed to fight each other. And Masons are supposed to show each other forgiveness in combat. You know that Masons are supposed to take each other prisoner with
And jerk each other off after.
yeah. Yeah. All right, boys.
I mean, the Knights Templar
You
were
fought,
accused of.
you fought well.
Yeah, you need to relax a little bit, bro. Let me help you out. Uh-oh, we got
Hey,
Chungus in the chat. You saw what you put?
have you seen that reel where it's like, all right, never mind, never mind. What's up, Pook? Chungus 500. In Diary of a Drug Fiend, Crowley names the character based on himself, Peter Pendragon.
You ever
Mhm.
seen Puff the Magic Dragon?
Also, Pendragon is kind of like it's like Shakespeare. It's like a dick joke.
Yeah.
It's my pen and my dragon. The pen is the sword. You use a sword to slay a dragon. Your pen's what you hold in your hand and you write, and ink comes out. Dragon spits out of its mouth, very phallic imagery. And,
Yeah.
you wield a sword, you wield a pen, and so yeah, Pendragon is kind of like a dick joke too. So Peter Pendragon is a double dick joke.
By the way, the Grand Wizard of the KKK in 20 as of 2026 is Thomas Robb, and it's the let's see here. Thomas Robb is the leader of
Ooh.
the national director, and he defends the Klan as a harmless organization, claiming that it is gentle, upbeat, and friendly.
Well, yeah, we don't need to talk about them anymore. But David Duke's pretty interesting guy. If you ever want to look into him, David Duke. But
All right. Yeah, my
now
search history is cooked right now, dude.
the serpent. Going back to Genesis real quick, this guy made a good point. Did I highlight that in the super chat here? Man T Brew 6392 with $2. Good comment and says, or he asks, was Satan cursed to crawl because first he could fly? I don't know, but that's often what people say serpent, because they act like, oh, he had legs or arms or wings before, and now the serpents are cursed to crawl. Well, just so you know, um, yeah, Genesis 3:14 says, and the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. Now, people take that to mean serpent, because serpents crawl around on their belly. Well, alligators also crawl around on their belly. They're always on their belly, right? Alligators have a belly. Snakes don't really have a belly. Snakes just have like a top and a bottom, But alligators have believe it or not, alligator skeletons, like from the neck down, kind of look very human. Their fingers, yeah, search that.
And we didn't talk about the alchemist either, and the crocodiles.
Oh yeah, let's talk about that.
Here, I got one.
What else did I say I wanted to talk about? I told you to write down
the mound, the alligator mound.
Yeah.
Oh, hold on.
Oh, and people say the serpent in the tree. Now this is a little bit not too much of a stretch, but
bro, that's because they haven't seen this. All
exactly.
right, they be
Exactly.
getting up on
Yep.
Okay,
They can climb. They can climb palm trees if they really want to. If they really, really want to climb something, they can climb certain trees if they really try. They go over fences all the time.
Yeah.
Search alligator in a tree.
Did we ever? Oh yeah.
Look at that top left.
Whoa.
That thing's fucking up there. They can climb trees. They can do it.
Go ahead and eat from that tree of.
I mean, iguanas love trees. They're always in trees. Iguanas can, go to the tippy top of a tree on top of the leaves. Like, it's crazy.
So, I forgot what I was gonna say. But yeah, iguanas are another one. Do we have Komodo dragons in Florida?
Not native, but
like in captivity, probably, right?
There are monitor lizards. Search that Florida monitor lizard. There are loose monitor lizards that have.
But they're not that big, though.
Some of them are.
Oh, damn, dude.
Yeah, they're a little bit smaller.
Whoa. That's more like a serpent. So that looks more like a snake versus, well, that wouldn't make sense. But anyways, this would be more like a serpent. And this one has the tongue that it can.
Good point.
So, damn,
alligator
not that big.
Alligator tongues are weird. They're huge and fleshy and like big and yeah.
There it is. Look at that. Look at that tongue.
Yep. I've seen these. They're loose around Florida. They're invasive.
I've never seen one of these in Florida, dude.
Yeah.
But one thing I was gonna say, Disney has removed. I think there's like no gators on Disney property ever since that one kid. You ever see that kid that got snatched by a gator at one of the hotels? Yeah. And they've captured. So Disney captures They've captured over so wildlife officials have captured and removed over 400 alligators from Walt Disney World in Orlando since 2016, and that's when the kid got killed at the again, because these things are apex predators, and if they're stalking you, you're never gonna know that they're there, right? There was a video I
Yeah.
was seeing today because I guess alligators are in my algorithm, and there was a guy fishing, and out of nowhere, this huge gator just comes out of the water. He's like, I didn't even see it. It's like, yeah, because it was stalking to eat you while you were fishing. And
Mhm.
just a couple weeks ago, we had that girl that got killed as well.
Yeah, at a
And
spring, I think.
yeah, she was swimming in a river. It's like if you're swimming in Florida, just know there's going to be gators, and that's just
Yeah.
part of it. And apparently,
And
she
y
got mauled.
well, usually alligators are docile. I talked about that in my dragon video. Crocodiles are known to be man hunters, meaning
Mm.
they will actively seek out to hunt humans and eat them, knowing exactly what they are. Alligators almost always only attack someone in a case of mistaken identity or direct, like, intrusion on their nest or, their favorite spot. So, but other than that, alligators are generally very, very docile, extremely docile. So here we'll watch a little bit of alligator wrestling footage too.
Can I pet that dog? Have you seen the video of the guy? I want to get him on the show, but I think he's too big. He's got like millions of followers.
Who
The guy that goes into the Everglades at night and just films it. Have you seen that guy?
is it? The guy who goes yoink like every
Yes,
time?
that guy. Yes, yes,
Yeah,
yes.
yeah, I know.
But he's huge though, I think.
One of those guys follows me. Some
He's at
Everglades guy.
8.7 million followers, bro.
Just calm down, Juan. You almost busted a nut there, dude.
Yeah, that's a lot of people, dude. That's what I'm saying. So, but yeah, it's the Yoink guy. Check this guy out, man. This guy is what in the world? Sounds about white because I would never do something like that.
Yeah, that's
Oh
a
my.
crocodile too, I think.
Yeah, that is a crocodile. So, look at that thing, dude.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. Fearless. Middle of
Yeah.
the night, barefoot in the Everglades.
That yeah, those are the gnarly videos right here.
Barefoot.
Look at that. Look at that, dude. And that's a crocodile right there. I would never.
Dude, barefoot in
Yeah.
Florida in the middle of the night is insane.
Imagine
In
the
the
mosquitoes.
Everglades,
That's oh,
cottonmouth in his bare hands.
yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, look at him. Look at him. He's like a way cooler version than of you, bro. Like,
No, thanks.
look at all the eyes. That's gnarly, dude.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there's another guy. I don't know if it's him, if it's the same dude who
There's
has
another
like
one, Cuban Tarzan.
no, no, not no, dude.
That guy
Uh,
sucks.
the underwater footage, the 4K
Yeah.
footage. I'm sure you've seen him too, but that dude's
Mhm.
gnarly as well. He's got some really crazy videos. I'm gonna be fishing in South Florida for some peacock bass this weekend, so I'll be in Homestead if anyone wants to.
Yeah. You doing your part, cleaning up some invasive species.
Yeah, look at the size of this. What? That's not a tarpon. That's that was the name of
Gar?
that fish. No, arapaima. Or
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
Arapama,
I-
yeah.
In the Everglades.
Yeah, they're all over Florida now.
Whoa,
They're all over and they're huge. They're like,
these things are giant,
yeah,
bro.
they can grow to like 10 feet.
What lures am I throwing? I actually fly fish. I love fly fishing for peacock bass because, yeah, it's super fun.
Yo,
And
Chattahoochee Lee, I like that. I like that profile picture. That's Earth Magic by Daryl Hall solo album. with produced by Robert Fripp. Some good stuff right there. That song Babs and Babs, is that on that album?
I've That's white people music, bro. I never heard that.
Really good. Babs and Babs, really good Daryl Hall song. Haven't listened to that in a while.
Yeah, I don't know. Bullshit, those are not in Florida. Yeah, I don't know if those are in Florida, bro. Are you I
Yeah,
know that there is.
Arapamos. Yeah, there's a guy that farms them. He has a pond. It's like shooting fish in a barrel. This
No, I
guy
know
has,
that. I know that one. I've seen that one. Um
yeah, but they're loose in Florida too. And people say that he's being careless. I don't know the specifics on this. But fish don't need to fish don't need to spread directly to spread their eggs. Like birds and animals that eat fish eggs can spread them to other areas. And the current can spread fish eggs, you know.
Oh, so it's at this guy's property. So yeah, the Jurassic Jules
Mhm.
guy. He is in Arcadia, Florida, I think. Yeah.
Mhm.
See, that would make sense.
Now,
Yeah,
if
this is
that's a
gnarly.
super invasive fish
Yes.
and there's a ton of them in this one lake and they're laying eggs, and let's say a fucking hurricane splashes those eggs into another lake, and now they're fucking loose all over the place.
Or a bird, bro. A bird
Exactly,
takes
yeah.
some,
Yep.
deposits them somewhere else. And there's also arowanas too. So I've seen this before. There's arowanas in the Everglades,
Yeah.
but again, I I've never caught one there. But yeah, look at this.
Have you seen those giant piranhas?
The you're talking about I think they're called yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's got a different name. It
Yeah,
starts
it's
with a P.
yeah.
Uh what the hell is it called?
Just search it, giant piranha.
It's got a name. It starts with a P. So right here, this thing. This is like a. It's part of the
Yes.
the Pacu.
Yeah.
So
They have
one,
they have those at FAU over here.
yeah, and but my one of my favorites. So I love fishing for peacock, and I love fishing for snakehead, which is
Yeah.
another one of the invasive species that are here in South Florida. But yeah, the snakeheads are super fun to catch. And apparently they taste good. I've never tasted it before, but yeah, these snakeheads get huge, and they're super invasive in Florida. So let me
Is the
pull up.
dragon all four elements? That's a great point. Yeah. The dragon is like the animal who partakes of all elements. He
Mm,
often lives in the water, right? Most uh real, not real, but the original dragon myths are usually tied to the water. Like the oldest dragon ever, the most ancient dragon ever, I think is Kur or Enki. Enki and Kur, and they're both aquatic deities. So, but yeah, all four elements. Is that you?
I was fishing
Fishing?
for all four elements here, bro.
Nice.
Hey, this was in the Aerojet Canal off of US 1 by the Keys. I was out there fishing for some peacock bass that day. This was how long ago was this? It's a long time ago.
Hmm.
Yeah, killed it that day. I was there for hours. 'Cause I kept trying to get the big one. It was two guys. I love sight fishing them because they get super aggressive when they're mating, and I just
Hmm.
would not give up on these. And I spent so much time on it, and then finally, I was able to get the big daddy that was there, and I got him right here, right here. Boom. No,
Is that your friend or is that just some guy?
No, that's my friend. So we got super close because there's also these other canals that butt up against here. So
Mhm.
we parked the boat up and then we just jump out and there's Oscars, there's Gar, and this one's a bigger one. Look at that. But yeah, these are good times, man. I love it out there, dude. And this day we were out there and this is when I first had heard about bears in Florida because we're just cruising along and all of a sudden we hear like a roar. And I look at him and I go, dude, like, was that like what it sounded like a bear. And lo and behold, I Googled it. This is a bigger peacock bass.
Nice. What, it was a gator bellowing?
No, we don't know what it was because we were just chilling. Bro, this is like a long, super long stretch of so this is the Aerojet canal that they made for that rocket testing facility in the Everglades.
Mhm.
This is what that was for. And all that dirt that's on the side there, that is dirt that they had dug out for that facility where the whole occult Jack Parsons thing goes. The video, the Python Cowboy. That's that
Mhm.
canal for that.
So here, let's watch this one for a sec. I mentioned how alligators, they boil the water on top of them. They bellow, right? They make this noise. You guys will see. This is from the YouTube channel Pam Marlin, and the title's Alligator Bellows at Payne's Prairie. Isn't that sick?
That is sick.
It literally makes cymatics. If you got headphones on that, dude, with headphones, it sounds like a sci-fi movie. Like the amount of bass in there, crazy.
Imagine hearing that in the middle of the night, bro.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why.
that's terrifying.
That's why I make your mom
Oh,
tape her. That's why I make her. That's why I make your mom wear mouth tape at night.
yeah,
So I'm looking out
sure
for
it
her.
is.
Damn, yo.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. And that's a relatively small gator. Imagine, like, look at that thing, dude.
This is from W Klein 24. Gator bellowing.
It just wants to be petted. Somebody says. That's
Look at
gnarly.
what's this guy? Andrew Bussy Monte. Andrew Bussy Monte. Bussy.
So is when we were growing up in Florida, they would always tell us to run zigzag because their legs are too short. Is that a myth or is that an actual thing?
I
I
don't
still
know.
think that they can just run straight for you while you're just zigzagging around.
Yeah, they can run pretty fast. The short bursts. From Florida Bros. Craziest alligator bellow ever. Let's see about that.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see about that. And they do that for what? For to scare, like to intimidate.
It's mating call.
Oh, so he's just horny, and here's this guy just stroking its back.
That is unreal.
Here we go.
Imagine what Da Vinci could have built if he had the smart buying tools on Amazon Business.
It's from Ojotro. That's some serious bass.
Yeah, dude. Now imagine like in the
That's a dragon.
that's what I'm saying. Imagine being like a conquistador, right? Coming in and seeing that in like a
Yep.
prime Florida, dude. Yeah. I'd be freaked out too, and especially if I heard that at night.
Oh, he's doing the water too.
Someone said we was dragons and shit.
We was bumping bass.
We was bellowing and shit. Oh man.
It's vibrating.
I only drink water that has been structured with
Bellowed on the back of a gator.
alligator bellow water. That's the only frequencies I ingest.
Oh, I can beat that. I can beat that. I can beat that. Oh, here we go. I can beat that. No, you can't. But look how they're just performing for us, right?
Damn.
Yeah, so alligators bellow to attract mates and establish territory, and they communicate their bot. What the hell? You good? You good?
Yeah, it just dropped off for a sec.
It says larger gators emit lower frequencies. So imagine just like a huge, so and it's infrasonic vibration.
Oh, have you heard about this? Apparently they bellow a certain note. They all bellow a certain note. And I think it's like B.
Is it?
B or B flat. Search that. Do alligators?
Whoops. So it says, come on, yeah.
Search it. Do alligators produce a note? Also, alligators.
B flat.
B flat. I was right. Guys, come on. Come on.
Oh, okay.
Guys, come on.
B flat or
How many
sharp.
How many YouTubers out there know what note the Gators produce off the top of their head? All right.
A sharp, dude. All right, so all right, we see this. I'm gonna show you a picture real quick of me holding a snake head just because I can. Where is it at? Oh, look at my friend's last name, dude. It's my lucky. This is my PB.
Bulls.
Yeah, his last name is Balls. All right, where's the? Oh, here we go, snakehead. Hey.
Nice.
All right. Anyways, we were gonna talk about the mound. Where the hell is it? The alligator mound.
Mm-hmm.
There we go.
Is it in Ohio?
Yes. So Granville, Ohio. Believed to be built between 8800 and 1200 by people of the Fort Ancient culture. And you said this was what? Some people think it's what?
Some people think it's a possum or a monkey. But monkeys aren't native to that area, but neither are alligators. So, you know.
Oh, there's really not a lot on this.
Yeah, go down and see if there's anything on the debate about what animal it really is. Lizard, reptile.
Right here. So they describe the site as a strange. They report location of the work as being 150 to 200 feet in height. They note that people in the area called it the alligator, although the figure bears a close resemblance to the lizard as any other reptile. The head of the effigy points towards the southwest. The work totaled 250 feet in length from head to tail. The body was noted at 40 feet. So again, they just call it the gator, I guess, because of that's what people in the area call it. But did they make? Because it would be interesting if they. It's an effigy site, right? So they did sacrifices. What the hell were they sacrificing on there? People?
Damn. Okay, so they were sacrificing.
After their service, Squire and Davis concluded the site was used for sacrifices. I wonder what they. So I was around by. Because usually they can, test the ground and see if there's any remains, like human remains for bones and stuff, or if it's usually just animal bones.
Mm-hmm. Underwater panther. See,
What?
it says that there in the bottom paragraph.
Leprosy.
Underwater panther.
Ah, I mean, kind of the same thing, no? And if
Mhm.
you think about it, an underwater panther, that's what a gator sounds when it's bellowing. It's like a
Yeah.
roar, So
Yeah, and and the alligator is the only animal that's even close to that, an underwater panther, Underwater.
right here, they were told that it was a fierce creature that lived in the water and ate people, which they assumed to be an alligator. Is there alligators in Ohio?
No.
So why the hell would they? That's bizarre, man.
Yeah. Well, there are parrots in mounds in Ohio too. You know that?
There's
Like
what?
there were parrots in mounds in Ohio too. Like
And yeah,
extinct parents that parrots that used to live here or were traded up from South America, traded to Ohio.
I mean, it was a long time ago, right? 800 to. So I mean, what was it like?
I mean,
If that's accurate.
they were trading. They probably traded like alligator teeth and alligator bones and skin and meat up north too. So
Yeah, yeah. All right, so
well,
what?
last thing, search alchemists. Let's see some of those pictures of like alchemists laboratories with crocodiles in them.
So this is the amphitheater. Is there one in here? No, there's not. There's one in right here. So there's this one. This is, I think, Alchemist Alley, I believe, in Prague, if I'm not mistaken.
Mm-hmm.
And this was in Prague where the alchemists were for Rudolph II. And they have replicas of, well, not replicas, they were actual place where the alchemists would be, and they have one hanging from there. But in the pictures, this is on my right here.
Okay.
It's on my bucket list of a place to visit. But yeah, this is a alchemical laboratory. You have what kind of looks like a gator up there and some other weird stuff.
Mm-hmm. Here's here.
Oh, and I also meant to talk about the Aboriginal people and their rainbow serpent deity, which is the creator of the universe, which is the creator of all reality.
Yeah, we didn't watch any video too. That's something else I wanted to do, but that's all right. One thing that I wanted to focus on, but it's okay that we didn't, is how the Seminole Indians used to wrestle alligators and do it in the coolest way. They would literally, like, they'd hold their mouth shut, they'd wrestle, or roll around with them a little bit, but they'd also do this thing where they'd put them in like a hypnotic state, a trance state, animal magnetism, right? And they would basically, growing up in Florida, we have all these little lizards all over the place. And growing up, it was something that the kids used to show each other how to do, this trick where you pick up the lizard, you flip it on its back, and you rub its stomach with your you get a lizard. Here. Watch here. Look, guys, we actually have a alligator skull
I thought you were gonna go pick up a lizard outside, bro.
at the bookstore. Isn't this cool? This is
dope.
new. I don't think you've been in the bookstore since we got this.
No, I wasn't there.
Yeah, so it's a real alligator skull. on the Florida table. But we also have one of these.
Someone said, bro, rubbing lizards out here.
So I'll show you how it's done. Okay.
Demonstration on how to stroke a
You do
gator if you're
this.
ever in the wild and need to escape one.
If you ever need emergency alligator milk, okay. But you can, let's say you catch a lizard, you catch it like that by the back of the head, and you do this. You rub its stomach, and they get hypnotized, and they go into a trance state, and they're just limp, and you can do whatever you want with them.
Not me. You do that to me.
Whatever you want with them.
So wait a minute. What are you supposed to do other than just die if a gator gets their hands on? Because as soon as a gator grabs you, it's gonna just twist. It's whatever limb it grabs, it's just gonna rip off. Because you know how they say if you're grabbed by a shark to stab it in the eye.
They say to stick your fingers in its eyes or its nose, basically, like its nostrils.
For a gator.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I'll see that. I'll like to see that. Always got that Glockachu on me, bro. That gator's getting. Oh man. Yeah, no, that's something that people always talked about, like as far as with sharks, but I never really thought about it with gators. You know, so you have to stick your finger in like a dog's ass to make it stop biting or whatever. So you can't do that with a gator.
Mhm.
So I guess you would stick your finger in their nose, but ugh.
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. Somebody said
Also,
finger
oh,
blast its nose.
I forgot to put the chat on screen. Sorry, guys. Also, we didn't really talk about how alligators and crocodiles are immortal, how they don't die. You know about this?
No.
So alligators do not die of old age, and pretty much they have almost no chronic illnesses. They don't die of organ failure or anything. Most crocodiles who are not killed die of starvation because they grow so big they can no longer sustain themselves. So that's why the bigger a crocodile is, the better. You almost always know it's better at hunting.
And that would make sense of why the queen is why royalty lives for so long, because they're reptilian.
Yeah, there's something to that. Whitney Murphy, 1989, with a $9.99 super chat, says, "My fiance and I have watched you for over 5 years. Huge fans. First time catching you live. Been dying to know if you read When Rocks Cry Out by Horace Butler. Jerusalem in South America. Also, I'll mod for you. Appreciate it. Now, I hate to expose you, okay? But sorry, Whitney. I've only been on YouTube for 4 years at most.
So something's not adding up. All right.
Sorry. Are you confusing me with someone? But my channel was started in 2022. And I think I made my first serious video in like June or July of 2022.
And first podcast appearance was who? Go ahead and say it.
So it hasn't even been 4 years, really. Almost 4 years. But so yeah, I started my YouTube channel on 2/2/2022. That's pretty cool.
Numerology here. Let's go over here. Watch out. Got the Grand Wizard over here.
Yep.
Yeah,
it was unintentional, by the way. Unintentional, not on purpose.
Thanks to me, I discovered you and I brought you to the world and I showed them Narco. Right? I remember, bro. I remember the first video I watched of yours was the pyramids in Florida. And I was like, this guy is smoking crack. And then I think we linked up on Instagram or something like that.
Yes. Yeah, guys. Juan was the first to pluck me up out of the recesses of the internet the obscure corners of YouTube and presented me to the mainstream.
The
So
dark, moist corners of just trying to find like the esoteric side of Florida. And I was like, who the hell is this guy?
yeah,
I was like, who's this lady? And then I was like, oh, that's a dude.
this lady's done more for your fucking YouTube channel than anyone. So
Nah, but it's
whatever.
good to have you, bro. I mean, you know, it was love at first sight, 100%. And
Yep,
we've been inseparable since.
yep,
So anyway.
yeah.
All right.
Alligators, alligator. You can't be an alligator without some allegations. Okay.
Or see you later, alligator. When did that come? When was that created? Did that come from Florida?
Kirkwood says he was subscriber number 1, first subscription. Could be, maybe, definitely one of the first. Manty Bruised with $5 says, I can't find or missed it. Did Old World Florida do a deep dive into Leo sign? Yes, on my Dr. Longo channel, Dr. Narco Longo YouTube channel. There's some astrology stuff on there. But in coming up, so in a week or two, we're gonna do a Leo stream because we're entering Leo season on the 21st or 22nd. 23rd, maybe. So yeah, stay tuned. Thanks for all the super chats, everyone. Appreciate it.
All right, bro. What else? What do people want to hear about next?
Elongated skulls. Let's do that. Someone commented that earlier. I saw in the chat.
Yeah,
We'll
let
do
us know a couple of topics you guys want to hear us cover and talk about. So
Yep.
elongated skulls, Nephilim, blah blah blah. We can talk about that.
Dragons are long, the lung. So we're going to talk about elongated skulls. Dragon skulls. Who knows?
Cool.
Shoddy. Shoddy, give me that elongated head. Know what I'm saying?
Just give it up, bro. Give it up. Oh man.
Shoddy, give me that elongated skull.
All right.
Whitney Murphy with 1989 says, or sorry, 199 says, correction, 4 years watched you before Tripoli. Thanks, man. And Zalero Morales with $10 says, thanks, y'all. Fun stream. Damn, everyone's pulling their wallets out tonight. Shit, let's fucking.
I say it for the Grand Theft Auto 6.
Shit, I got another hour in me. We're cracking out the wallets.
But you see how Longo gets when you crack out when you start throwing money at him? What a sellout, dude.
For real. What a sellout.
What a sellout. The truth needs to be free, bro. You can't be monetizing the truth.
Imagine if I tried telling people Jesus was a carnivore, how much money I'd make.
You think so? I don't think people really, I think that's more truther stuff because when you go to church on Sunday, they're not talking about Jesus if he was a vegetarian or not. I don't think that the people really focus on that part.
Yeah.
It's just our autistic corner of the internet that kind of focuses on that sort of stuff. Like the hyper details of Jesus, I guess. But yeah, at least my church doesn't talk about that.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll do elongated skulls.
Juan's church be like, Jesus no come arroz con pollo. No come nada.
No, they're more like, again, it's non-denominational. And even during my Pentecostal days, they weren't really like that. Oh yeah, you had to say something about people's wallets.
Yep. Yo, where them broke boys at? I think all the broke boys went to sleep. We only got them rich nagars. Curious Joel 89
This guy's
from the
been a fan
999.
for
Been a
35
big-
years.
Been a big fan for 35 years. Wit is my fiance. We hunt for artifacts around Middle Tennessee. So many mound sites, archaeological sites, etc. here. Come up an Arrowhead hunt and explore some mounds with us. All right, man. Next time in Tennessee, I might have to hit you up. Get me on Instagram. DM me on Instagram if you want to stay in touch.
Shout out to 5 Leaf Clover for the 5 gifted subs. He's the OG. This guy's gifted like at least 50 memberships on my channel.
Hell yeah.
So shout out to this guy. He's the OG.
No,
And
yeah.
I was gonna say, what part of Tennessee are they in? Middle Tennessee? Is that a town in Tennessee, or is like the middle portion of Tennessee? Because I love Tennessee, bro. Tennessee's awesome. It's too cold for me.
Too cold?
Yeah.
It's fucking super hot in the summer, Tennessee.
Yeah, in the summer. And then when you go in the winter, it's freaking
It's not that cold.
It's too cold for me, bro. I remember I come
It's not even on the coast.
I come
North
from the
Carolina
trash
is
island, dude. It's like 100 degrees
Yeah.
there all year round.
hot. Yeah.
Here we go.
Longer you go, the drunker I, Christian geostationariist. Is that a word? Preterist? He already came back. More I may pay. Damn, bro. You be drinking too much, bro. So,
Hey, Man T Brew. I mean, he does have brew in his name.
yeah. Thank you, man. Appreciate the support.
Yeah, but it's been extremely hot, at least here. I'm sure it's hotter where you're at because
Yeah, a
you're
little
further
bit.
down south. But it's been like I never really understood. It's 99 outside, but feels like 107.
hmm
What the hell does that even mean?
It's like humidity. I don't know.
It feels like it's hot as hell, is what it feels like.
Feels like you need to go buy some shit at the store. Feels like you need to. We're fueling like the. It feels like we're psyoping everyone into believing global warming. You know.
Mm,
I don't know.
yeah. Well, what are your thoughts on sunscreen, bro?
It's fake news.
Yeah,
It's bad
I,
for you.
I don't
Yeah,
use it at all.
I
Like
can
my wife
tell.
always gets on my my wife always gets
You
on
don't
my
need it.
case,
Yeah.
and yeah, I don't use it at all. Like I just if I'm in a pool, I try to maintain water on me, but if I'm outside, I'm usually wearing like one of these long sleeve shirts in the
Yeah.
sun. But yeah, I don't use that stuff.
Yeah, I've never used sunscreen ever. Like as a kid when my parents would make me put it on, but never, ever, ever put it on ever. So bad for you. Just go to the beach, get ocean water on you. Don't spend more than 2 hours in the sun. There's rarely ever a good excuse for that. You don't need sunscreen, folks. It's fake news. Growing up in Florida, my dad was like pink, like Irish, as Irish as you could get, like totally freckled. Like he wouldn't tan at all, he'd freckle, you know? My brother's a little bit like that, not really. But in one generation, like I can tan. I don't get freckles. I don't. So I feel like, it's easy to adapt to. And if you move down here, your kids will adapt to it pretty quick. And sunscreen is like my grandpa. So my dad never got skin cancer ever, but my grandpa would always get skin cancer. Always. Like once or twice a year, he'd get
Yeah, like
skin
the
cancer.
little spots that they
Yeah.
have to like gouge out of your face, like
Yeah.
scrape out of you.
Yeah. And he said that it was, or they think that was because back, and my dad used to do this too, but my grandpa especially, My grandpa was obsessed with the sun. He's a Leo. Talk about Leos, okay? Leos, lion, the cat, they love the sun. And my grandpa would cover himself in cooking oil, butter. He'd cover himself in cooking oil or butter and lay out in the sun because it made you tan more. And that shit literally frying himself in the sun.
100%, bro. What?
Yeah. So don't do stuff like that and you'll be okay. You won't
My guy was trying to get baked.
Yeah.
What a psycho, dude.
That's my grandpa.
Oh my goodness.
My grandpa was so tan. You guys are gonna think this is funny, okay? My grandpa was so tan that I swear to God, I thought he was a black person till I was about 10 until I was about 10 years old. And I swear, I would ask my family members
Like,
why
who's the black guy?
why my grandpa was black because he was so tan.
Oh man. Oh. I mean, I know that you get a tan. One of my sons gets a tan. The other one just burns. Like he just turns
Really?
red. Yeah, yeah. My older one, he gets tans and he gets super dark. But like if I get a lot of sun, I get super dark too. But my other son got my wife's complexion. She's lighter, so she burns too. They don't tan very well. But yeah, it's good to be out in the sun, because it does, you get the vitamins and all that stuff, and it puts you in a better mood, right? Like it's all week long, whatever. If you don't work outside or something, you're in an office or you're working from home inside, like that'll put you in a depression. What's the whole thing over on like in Washington State? Because there's no sun or anything, people get depressed. And like it's
Maybe.
induced by the weather.
That makes sense. Yeah, Ireland's like that too. Like you never see the sun. You roll rarely.
I forget what it's called,
England.
but it's like something induced depression.
Oh yeah. Orange juice. You see this. I mean, I don't conduct any of these studies, but you see these studies about how it's nearly impossible to stay depressed if you're routinely drinking orange juice. Like you simply can't be depressed when you're drinking orange juice every single day on an empty stomach.
Which is your favorite brand? Is there like a real orange juice? As long as it's not from concentrate, right? Like that.
Yeah. Fresh squeezed, unpasteurized is the best. So if you go to Whole Foods, they have juiced oranges, which is the whole orange juiced into a bottle with the peel and the rind. And that shit's amazing for you. That shit would cure cancer when they juice it with the whole peel, and it tastes almost like ginger.
Oh, like blend it all up together?
With the peel, yeah. They juice it with the peel at Whole Foods. There's two types of Whole Food orange juice. They have the juiced orange juice, which is in like a more rectangular, taller bottle. And then they have the regular jug, like a gallon of orange juice. They're both fresh squeezed, but Whole Foods has a machine that they do the oranges on that you can sometimes do it yourself. That's the regular fresh squeezed orange juice. That just breaks the peel and then squeezes all the juice out.
Mm-hmm.
And juicing them, when you juice the peel and the rind and everything together, it makes it taste almost like ginger. It has like a whole new flavor to it. It's like almost burns a little bit, like it has a fieriness.
I've never eaten the peel on on orange. I've never even thought about that before. I didn't know it was a thing.
That Whole Foods is one of the most unique. That Whole Foods juice is one of the most unique orange juices you can have, and I think the most medicinal. But it's expensive. It's like $20 for like a half gallon.
Damn.
3/4. It's like $15 for 3/4 of a gallon, or maybe.
Is that where you rich people buy your food at?
Yeah, that's where.
Here we go. Here we go.
Whole Foods. Whole Foods for whole people. Complete organic foods for complete organic people. But now Whole Foods is the best place to. All right, never mind. But then if you just go to all these like farm stands, local citrus sellers, when they juice oranges fresh, that's really, really good too. I'd just say anything that's labeled fresh squeezed, unpasteurized is worth having. If you need to go pasteurized, Natalie's is pretty good.
Because pasteurizes when they warm it up, right? Do they warm up orange juice?
Yeah, they do. And listen, sometimes you have to do that. Pasteurization is not just a psyop; it's a necessity. When you're making batches that are so big and you're sending them very far away, you can't let orange juice just sit at a. Same with spring water. Like spring water is great, fresh, it's amazing, but you can't bottle it up and take it with you because it's full of living things.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
so spring water is amazing. Just drink it fresh right there. Oranges, it's the same way. You can juice a million oranges and drink them all right there as soon as you juice them, and you'll have no problems. But if you juice a gallon, fresh squeezed, unpasteurized, and then let's say you drive 24 hours and you don't refrigerate it, and 24 hours later you check on it, it's going to smell like sulfur.
Mm-hmm.
It smells like, it's active. It's like alive. Like orange juice it's like breathing. So pasteurization, it's not a necessity, but for what we expect of our orange juice to like send it halfway across the country, it's kind of a necessity. So, and same with milk. Like, I'm not a big milk guy. I'm not huge into raw milk. And I'm sure it does ruin a lot of the milk. But guys, raw milk can kill you, and it does kill people
Yeah.
every year, lots of people. And raw milk, um, it's just nasty. Think about it. Think about how much pus is in some of those cows'
Blood.
udders.
Yeah.
The cow udders are swollen, and they're often full of pus. And wouldn't you want to cook some of that off? Like, do you really want to leave that for days? Just like
Nothing
shit.
like some good old pus in my milk, dude.
Yeah.
I love it.
So, it doesn't really bother me that much if they're gonna heat something up as long as the fresh stuff is available to me too. I'm not gonna cry about it too much.
Someone said Boca Boy Logic.
Thanks. Appreciate it. That's
And
actually one of.
Boca Boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, orange juice is better than milk anyway. Anything you think milk is gonna do for you, use orange juice instead, and you'll be healthier and you'll smell better. What do you think smells better? A person who drinks a gallon of milk a day or a person who drinks a gallon of orange juice a day?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, next time I grab an orange straight from a tree, I'm just gonna bite it with the skin and everything. See how people look at me.
You can do that with a kumquat or like a satsuma, but not an orange.
Because are tangerines and mandarins still oranges, or like what's going on? Are they're just a subspecies of an orange, or they come from another place? Like, are they imposters?
What compared to an orange? Which
Mandarin and tangerine.
Mandarin? The Mandurian candidate,
Yeah.
Manchurian Mandarin,
That's how you say it,
Mandarin,
right? Mandarin
Mandarin Chinese. Yeah,
or mandarin? I don't know.
no, you're right, Mandarin. I don't know. I think they're the more natural version of a orange. I think the original orange is something like a smaller fruit like that.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, original citrus. I think it's like the sour orange and the pomelo.
And there's clementines too. So mandarins are a broad category of sweet, easy to peel citrus. Clementines are a specific seedless variety of mandarin, whatever, recognized for being exceptionally sweet and smooth skin. Oranges are an entirely different, larger citrus fruit with thicker skin and a much tartar, juicier flavor profile. So
Euro American with the $2. Finna bust out them ones. Get on that pole long go.
that's right.
I'm gonna need more than $2 for that. Thanks, Euro American. Appreciate it. Mant Brew 6392, the $2 says for the first time looked at super sticker week. What do you mean? My super stickers? Like I have personalized emojis that are the sunglasses, tangerines, oranges, whatever. Let's not. We're talking about oranges for like 20 minutes.
It's all
All right.
good.
I think that's about all we wanted to talk about, except for if we ever do this again, we'll make sure to watch the Seminole Indians wrestling alligators. They get them in these weird hypnotic states, almost like a cobra, like a snake charmer or a hypnotist. Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Yeah, and you can go check that for yourself. It's free. Florida State Archives, all that alligator wrestling footage. But Juan, good stuff tonight. Thanks. Thanks to everyone for joining us. Guys, go subscribe to Juan on Juan channel if you haven't already.
Unsubscribe.
Yeah, and sub.
Unsub. Don't even follow me.
Don't worry, they weren't already.
Yeah. You're right.
Don't
You're
worry.
right. Can't unsubscribe from something
Mhm.
you never subscribed to.
No, they are. Of course they
Anyways,
are.
yeah, I'll be I was gonna try and visit you this weekend, so I'll see if I have time or not. It depends how close I'll be. Not making any promises, but if I can, I'll stop by the shop. And
Yeah,
is,
man.
is the
No
owner
problem.
in any of the days? Is your brother around?
He's there during the week. He's there Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I'm there Friday, Saturday, Sunday, every week.
All right. Well, I'll see if I'll stop by.
Man T Brew, the $10 says, ugh, things kill people every day. I leave food on the stove for 3 days, winter, 2 days, summer. You think I'm BSing? I'm not. We don't get sick. My son and I do not get sick. I don't know. Sorry, super stickers in general. I haven't been sick since I went vegetarian. I've only been sick one time. So since I was 18, I went vegetarian. I have not been sick a single time since. I almost don't even remember what it's like to be sick. The one exception to that is when I went to Canada, like 2 years ago. I went to Canada for the first time ever, and then I drove to Canada and back during the winter, in the middle of winter. And when I came back, it was, snow, freezing, driving back down. And as soon as I made it back to Florida, I got deathly sick. And I think it was a kidney infection or something, because my kidneys were aching, like my lower back, just aching. And I was super flu-like symptoms. It went away in like 3 days, but it was food poisoning, by the way. It was largely triggered by food poisoning, but it was like the combined the viral load of
Got a load for you.
viral load. That's like Juan's mom's digital footprint summed up in 2 words: viral load. So, but no, I think I was just exposed to all these disgusting Canadians for the first time. All these disgusting stuff, all this new food. So I think I don't know that one. Maybe I don't deserve the blame for that one, but that was in the middle of COVID too. That was like during COVID. So, but I've only been sick once in over 10 years. What about you, Juan? Multiple times a year?
I got the subpar Puerto Rican genes, bro. I'm just sick all the time. No, I'm not. If anything, I get allergies, but that's about it. I don't really get sick too much. But when I do get sick, it hits me hard. But yeah, I do. I for sure get sick.
Yeah.
It's that Puerto Rican blood, bro.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. Subscribe to One on One channel, and we'll see you next Thursday. Probably going to talk about elongated heads, elongated skulls. What else do they call them?
Let's talk about crystal
Cranial deformation.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Everyone have a good night. Let me cue up some music here.
Have a good rest of you guys' week. Stay safe. We'll catch you guys next week.
All right. Peace, everyone.
Yep. Wild Indian, yeah.
Hey, V, line them up.
I'm a wild Indian, you know I go crazy. Ain't really Indian, that boy fugazi. I just keep it player, you can never play me. You got an ass so fat, girl, let's make a baby. And another one. Then I'm back to the trap, I'm trying double song. She a bad woke chick, and I love her tongue. We some jurisdiction boys, we some one-on-ones. Look, don't compare me to no Martin dog, I'm like Malcolm X. Die by our freedom, we'll leave a crack and stretch. Round of applause, boy, you know we clapping text. Chucky dog, child's play, yeah, nigga, that's what's next. Open up the cans just like Arizona. Pull up masked up like we got the Rona. We set up jurisdictions when we buy the corner. How you claiming that's your hood and you not the owner? Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.
Like my niggas said, bitch, we the shit. I can't keep the peace. If it pop off, then I want a piece. I'm just on release. I'm in go mode, motherfuck the thief. In these streets like EBT, when we at war, make peace with me. I don't give a damn, understand. Fuck who stole this land, white or black or tan. Understand, it's fuck who stole this land. Might have seen me get little buddy these hands. He wasn't no abo man. Now these dudes is Sambo man. They full of shit like my ammo can. What they call an N-word out the wrong mouth as an ambulance. Wild Indian, get it in advance, or you can post dated. Ask around, I'm the most hated. Straight sacred, they stole acreage. Go ape shit, show ain't shit. It won't be televised, I don't tape shit.
Be the B, I just pulled up in the need for speed. Free the land, tell the colonizers that they need to leave. Wild Indian up in my veins, you know how we bleed. You ain't gotta lie about who we is, dog, just keep it G. We at war, we can't keep the peace. Since we at war, gotta keep the peace. Whack a cone, then I meditate. Should I need to breathe? Keep a Olmec head when we slide, dog, cause we the shit.